Hey, what's up guys? This is the Left Pedal, and a lot of people have asked me about the wheel specs and fender flares on my Datsun 280ZX. As you can see, I've got an engine hoist now, so we're about to be doing some very exciting projects on this car. In the meantime, I figured this would be a quick, fun video to get us back into things. So here's all the appearance mods on my 1980 Datsun 280ZX. So this is the air dam that everybody has on these cars because it just looks so good. It's called the MSA Classic, and it does a really good job of kind of rounding off the front end of the car. There are more air dams available now than there were when I bought this. These cars kind of blew up, so you have a lot of options these days. But the MSA Classic is still one of the best looking air dams in my opinion. The spoiler is also from MSA. It's actually made for the S30, and you can see that it hangs off a little bit over the side. They also made a carbon fiber version of this ducktail, which is seriously cool. The side skirts are from a Mazda Miata. One of my biggest inspirations for this car was Bruce 713's black 280ZX. And so I got that idea from him. They fit pretty much perfectly, but they are super easy to step on, so be careful. By the way, if you have one of these cars, check out the 280ZX Drivers Facebook page. Those guys know a lot about these cars, and they're a lot more helpful than most car communities. So this is a performance mod, but obviously the height of your car affects the appearance a lot. I'm not really a super slammed low car guy, so I don't have it on the ground or anything, but it is lowered about 3 inches from stock. The suspension is actually lowered a little more than that because these wheels are bigger than the stock wheels. Right now I've got coilovers in the back and super short springs in the front. I have the components to put coilovers in the front, but I need new shocks and I gotta have it welded together. My fender flares are built by Fiberglass Mafia. There's this one company that's using a picture of my car on their advertisement. That is not what I have on my car. These are built by Fiberglass Mafia and they're called wide ZG flares. They add a couple inches to the side of the car so you can fit wider wheels. This changes the suspension dynamics, and the car will be less comfortable if you do this, but the increase in grip is just insane. I cut out quite a lot of the original fenders and quarter panel to get that extra tire clearance, and painted over the exposed metal cuts with black. The wheels are 2-piece polished aluminum CCW Classics. I had to get them custom made and it took about 5 months, but it was worth the wait. At that time at least, this was the only set in the world just like it. The fronts are 17 by 9.5 and the rears are 17 by 11. They're some pretty fat wheels. The wheel's offset is how far from the center of the barrel the mounting point is. These are some very deep dished rims, so in the front I've got an offset of -35, meaning it's 35 millimeters behind the center. And in the rear it's -60 millimeters. If you're thinking about doing fender flares, make sure to grab a tape measure, take your time, and really understand the math behind what you're doing. The suspension, fender flares, and wheels all have to match up, otherwise you're in for a really bad time. The tires are Sumimoto. I tried this brand out and I really like them. They're very good grippy tires and they've held up quite well. I've got them stretched just the slightest bit. I think it's just right at the very edge of the manufacturer recommendations. But the angle fits under the flares this way. The fronts are 245/40/17s and the rears are 275/40/17s. I've restored or replaced pretty much everything in the interior. It used to be red, but I dyed most of it black. I've got blue seat belts to match the seats. I've got this black dash cover on it. I replaced the 85-mile-an-hour gauge cluster with one of the 130-mile-an-hour ones. I redid the carpet. I redid the headliner. I took some panels from my parts car and installed them in this one. I replaced the steering wheel with this one from Grant. I fabbed up a new plate for the radio and cut it out to fit a modern stereo system. I built a speaker box for the hatch and also replaced the speakers behind the seat. And these little dice were there when I bought the car, so I just left them. So I don't have it anymore, but the infamous blast pipe was just a 2.5-inch pipe welded to the exhaust, and it sounded awesome. Then I replaced it with a super loud header when I put everything back together last time. I also had the custom fuel rail and everything painted up all nice, but all that's out of the car now. I was rushing to get it done, but now I want to put the turbo in, so I gotta take all this out and replace the steering so it'll fit. I'm also going to be getting the manual transmission out of the parts car, which the new engine hoist was going to help with as well. Once I get the engine put back together, I'm going to have the car painted because it does need it. It's probably still going to be white. I might do some kind of cool livery or wrap. I've photoshopped a few different ideas that I think are cool, sort of like old race car style. We'll see later on down the road. I've got these cool badges from my buddies at D-Pan GT. I'm waiting to get it painted before I put them on, but this is like the coolest thing I've ever seen. I don't think I'm gonna change the car's looks too much. I love how it looks now, I just gotta get it all cleaned up. You guys should definitely make sure to check out my Instant Classic series. Episode 2 comes out next Thursday. I'm gonna be working on that, working on the Datsun, and all sorts of other stuff over the next few months. Make sure to like this video, consider subscribing to us here at The Left Pedal, and I will see you next time.